Hi, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Tiki Taka. Again, I'm Travis.
I'm Joseph.
And today we're going to be doing a recap of match week 24. So we're going to review Champions League as well as the EPL fixtures. So here's a sneak peek of what you can expect from today's episode.
$1 billion they spent on this squad? And what do they have to show for it? The only signing that seems to have really worked out so far is Caicedo and Fernandes.
So we're sitting here thinking they're not a contender, but they are, for better or worse, Club World Cup champions.
Yao Pedro thinks he's a big tough man until a real big tough man starts walking up to him.
Did you see his face?
Dude, he saw God. He saw the wrath of God, and he got very, very scared.
This is 5 wins in a row for Rosinha. Is he proving people wrong? Is he going to be the next big manager?
Everyone still believes this Arsenal side has it in them to throw it away. Who's their top scorer right now? Own goal, you're right.
The horror show that is Madrid right now.
The boogeyman that is Mourinho.
Xavi's gone. There's no more excuse. The pressure is all on you now.
I told you, this Galacticos experiment that's worked for however many years, it's done now. It can't work in modern football.
If they bring in a all-star number 9 or somebody like a Holland, if I were Madrid, maybe just shift Mbappe off to the left and bye-bye Vinny.
Does it get any more poetic? It's almost Shakespearean that way.
So with that, let's start with the Champions League. What was the first standout game for you?
The Arsenal-Kiryat game. The score didn't really tell the whole story. Arsenal dominated a whole game, but 3-2 to a side. No offense to any Kiryat fans that may exist watching the pod. You're allowing 2 goals to a side of this caliber in Europe. And, for all they like to say, they have the best player in every position. Every single person's world-class on the Arsenal squad. They're squeaking by in Europe, man. I mean, the teams that they should be smoking, they're just beating them. Don't get me wrong, they're undefeated, but it's not, anything that I would feel confident they're going to go all the way to the final and for sure win it in Budapest. It's no way, man. The squad is just weak. They don't have any heart. And I think they're very, very lucky that right now in England, everyone sucks because there's no way, they're top of the table. I don't believe they're the best team in Europe. I don't see it, honestly.
Well, for those that watched last week, I'm sure, especially the clip that was posted, people think we've been hating on Arsenal. So let's take the game for what it was. They were already first place in Champions League qualifications. They were already going to finish first place, most likely. However, this was really a gimme game for them. They just played the bench, played the reserves, and let them do their things. It didn't mean anything. So, yeah, I do see your point in letting 2 goals in. However, for a throwaway game to rest their players, to really focus on the weekend's game, that's what I see it was for.
Against mighty Leeds, you're right, man.
They had to bounce back. They had no choice over the last recent form of fixtures. They had to prepare.
Again, the whole issue is they're not a terrible team. Don't get me wrong. They're not scrubs. They definitely deserve to be in the spots that they are in. They're constantly competing in Europe. They're constantly competing in England, but they don't have it. They don't have that stuff. City has the stuff. When you watch Serie A, you watch Napoli or Inter play, they have the stuff. Germany by default is always going to Bayern. But even look in Ligue 1, PSG has the stuff. All these teams, when you watch them, you say, okay, these guys can probably beat anyone any given day of the week. And they could seriously win the Champions League. When I watch Arsenal, I'm sitting there watching just the most boring football on the planet. And yeah, they're getting some nice goals here and there. But who's their top scorer right now? Own goal. You're right. Thank you.
Not own goal.
Thank you.
Not own goal. But they don't have a standout. They don't have that wow factor. And I think that's what you're referring to. They don't have that player that gets you off your seat. It's really kind of boring.
Well, they're a cohesive
flat.
unit, right? But yeah, they're not exciting to watch. It's just they're a machine.
Not entertaining.
And it's not an exciting machine to watch at all.
It's not, but they're definitely not squeaking by in the Champions League. They are undefeated, 8 wins out of 8, first place. The only one that somewhat was the biggest challenge for them was Bayern in that run of fixtures. But even then, they kind of dismantled Bayern. At least
it's not the same Bayern Munich. It's not the same Bayern that was 10 years ago.
No, but they are doing pretty well this season. I would say they're the top 2, as far as form goes in the world. But neither of them are better than their teams in the past. I do think Arsenal is going to go far in the Champions League. Do I think they're going to win it? No, I think it takes a while. If you look at history, right, you look at City, how many times did City get knocked out of the semis before they actually got over the line, went to the final, and won it?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be Arsenal
beforehand.
Exactly. I think that's going to be Arsenal. I think they're going to get to the semis, maybe for a few years, and then eventually get over that hurdle. I don't think they're just going to go from where they've been to just straight winning it this year.
Again, I think this Arsenal side isn't the worst team in the world. They're not terrible. They're not, bad. They are a very good side. But
Mm.
I think they're just lucky this season, honestly. You can say what you want about Liverpool last season. The league was terrible, but that was a very competitive league. Look at City right now. Look at Liverpool, Chelsea. Who are they really competing against right now? They have to beat themselves. It's a poor league. It's a poor year for them. And I think this is making them look a lot better than what they really are. Like you said, they don't have a wow factor. They don't move me. I think if anyone else was even 90% on their game, someone just doesn't have a chance. They're boring, man.
I think the main difference between this Arsenal team this year and Liverpool's team last year is that although the league kind of struggled and some of the other teams like City wasn't on it, obviously not United, but Arsenal were pretty good last year. They just weren't as good as Liverpool. However, the difference is that Liverpool ran away with the league. They won it by December. They were kicking everybody's ass.
Yes.
Everybody, where Arsenal's just barely squeaking by.
Everyone believes they're going to bottle it. I mean, no one thought Liverpool was realistically going to lose that league in December or January. Everyone knew, okay, this is not happening. They're too good. Everyone still believes this Arsenal side has it in them to throw it away because they do. That's just what they've done. They've been in this position before. And what did they do? They threw away this giant gap they had against City 2-3 years ago. They just don't move anyone, man. I can't buy in. I can't buy into it. Take away being a biased fan, right? Just as a neutral, they're not a side I believe are going to be a legendary European side. They're going to go down history like the Madrid treble squad or the Madrid 3 in a row, the Liverpool squad from 1819, the AC Milan squads that are always in there, Galacticos, the Barcelona team with Messi and Ronaldinho. They're just not that. And my biggest gripe with Arsenal is that they keep saying they are those guys, and you're not. You're really, really not. You're going to go down as like a Bayern Munich that had Ribery and Robin. Still very good squads. But if you're making a top 10 all-time teams, you're not even getting a sniff into that side.
That Bayern team was pretty good. I would
They were
put them
good.
as better than this Arsenal team.
100%. But those Bayern sides aren't a top 10 most dominant side in Europe. You want to make a list? Come on. Which Bayern side are you realistically putting in there? Compared to the Madrid teams, the Barca teams, the Chelsea squad that won it, the Liverpool squad, AC Milan. We can go all day. And then you look at Arsenal, again, they just don't move me.
Juppinkus at Bayern in 2020 was pretty strong. Nevertheless, we'll move on from Arsenal in the Champions League because we're already going to get more haters.
Sorry.
But as we were touching on Liverpool, why don't we just continue with their form in Champions League? We'll get to them in the Prem later. But as far as Champions League, wow, 6-0. I know it was Karabag, and no offense, not trying to insult any Karabag fans, but 6-0. Again, in the Champions League, they seem like the Liverpool we know.
You're a side built for Europe 100%. Watching Maka score a brace, which, what are you doing, man? Bagging twice. Wirtz scoring once again. The Salah free kick, it's the team I remember from last year. Everything was just clicking. They all just really tried. It looked like there was a real effort out there. When I was watching it, I was being a pessimist. I think all of Anfield is being very pessimistic. Oh, we're destroying a team that we should be destroying. But let's see what happens in the weekend. And I think that's just the biggest problem with this side right now is that Anfield, the fans, Scousers don't want to back this team. I don't think they don't want to back the players. We just can't get behind this manager anymore. This game was great to watch. It made me feel kind of bad for Slot because he basically said, everyone's throwing me under the bus, but what do you want me to do? I don't have any support here, which I guess it makes sense. Leone's out. Ibu is perpetually hurt as well. Gomez is made of glass. We need center half cover. We didn't get it. So he does have a point to an extent, but every time they look like they're the team from last year, they just do something ridiculous in the league. And I just don't understand what it is. What is the difference from playing in Europe to going to England? This the guy who said he loved playing in low blocks. He loves those sides because I get more possession. Low blocks are just destroying us this year. I'm surprised we beat quarterback. Honestly, I was telling anyone that'll listen, I seriously believe we might lose 2-1. I believe that because we struggle against sides that, for all intents and purposes, are bad. Really poor sides. And it was a great win. I really enjoyed watching it. Wirtz, that guy is amazing. Ekatike, Salah, these guys rock. But this game also didn't move me, man. I was just, okay, good. Did your job.
Fair enough. That's all way on Liverpool. Let's move to the PSG Newcastle. 1-1. PSG still seems to be struggling. They just can't seem to get rhythm and momentum going.
Yeah, it's really, really weird, dude. Granted they've had a few injuries here and there, but this is a team that ran away with Europe last season, and they didn't lose anybody. No one got chopped off. It's still the same squad. It's a hangover, I would assume. It's very hard to go back to back in Europe. Almost impossible. Newcastle isn't a particularly great side, so this is a game you expect them to win. Great for Newcastle to qualify. They go through into the playoff. They have a chance to keep going, but PSG should have won this game. They should have easily won this game, I think.
Let me put it this way. In the last 5 Champions League games, PSG has 1 win. That sums up their form this season, and it's great for Liga, right? It's good to see that it's not just PSG taking another title, but it's shocking to see how quickly they've fallen off of one Champions
League, their first
right?
one.
You saw somebody like City win the EPL title 4 times in a row, won the treble, and then they dipped off. For PSG to just, win what people call the Farmers League year on year and finally get over the line in the Champions League and then just dip this bad is pretty shocking.
Do you think Enrique's mind's already somewhere else? He's already said he's not renewing. He's done. France is a joke. He's won the Champions League. Is he just checked out?
He's a professional, so do I think he's fully checked out? No, but I do think it may have been a lot easier, especially domestically, than he thought. I do think they still have egos. You still have players like Ousmane Dembele, who finally won the Champions League and now he won the Ballon d'Or. So he's maybe not working as hard. Doesn't feel like he needs to. And he doesn't like that. Luis Enrique needs people that are going to put in a shift. So I think he's ready to compete against some more difficult clubs week in and week out. All right. Another one that was I don't know if you would say it's shocking. You tell me. Chelsea versus Napoli, 3-2.
Not shocking to me. Serie A is still, again, not particularly good, especially in the Champions League this season. So for Chelsea to struggle like this, I don't want to say it's weird. It seems pretty on brand for Chelsea in terms of all the money that they spent, the stars that they've recruited. They're supposed to be the next big thing, and this project still can't get any legs under it. They're in Champions League. They're not missing out on Europe. They're still competing in cups, but are they seriously a Premier League challenger? I don't think so. Are they seriously a Champions League challenger? I don't think so. They're a cup challenger right now, which is not bad. It's not bad to win the FA Cup. It's not bad to win Carabao. Almost like, what, $1 billion they spent on this squad? And what do they have to show for it? One of the most expensive signings, Mudryk, he's banned. He can't play football anymore. They signed Raheem Sterling. They just shopped him off. They're done with him now.
Yeah, they just terminated his contract.
Yeah, the only signing that seems to have really worked out so far is Caicedo and Fernandez. Palmer's good, but he goes through awful long stretches of not contributing to a single goal in any single capacity, and he'll be out for 2 to 3 months at a time. So it's weird, man. I just don't get how you can spend all this money and still be poor.
Yeah, it's the curious case of Chelsea. They buy a lot of young players, which is great, but they buy too many of the same young players, and it's not diverse enough. If this guy has the same skill set as that guy, why do we need 2 of them?
They have 4 of them. They have 4 of them. They have 4 sixes basically on their squad. Why?
I don't know. They need to sprinkle in some experience, in my opinion, to help them get over the line, help teach these younger guys, some of the traits, and experience does go a long way.
I think they're banking on Reece James to be that experience, but Reece James is made of glass too, dude. He's not on the pitch consistently enough to really get these guys into shape, and you're relying on Robert Sanchez to be your next oldest guy on the pitch. What's going on here? Manager turnover, unreal. Rossoneri, okay. I see you, young buck. Very good. But
I wanted to ask you about him. 5 wins in a row. I did not see that coming.
No. Coming from Strasbourg too, I mean.
He's performing pretty well. Granted, he hasn't played the best of the best teams. However, 5 wins in a row, I didn't think he would pull it off. But Chelsea is very unpredictable. And we're sitting here thinking they're not a contender for X, Y, and Z, but they are, for better or worse, Club World Cup champions. They can just squeeze out a result out of nowhere. And it's very weird. It's very hit and miss.
They're a great tournament team. They are Club World Cup champions. Okay. Wow. Awesome, man. Flamengo was Club World Cup champions for like 8 years in a row, man. Cool beans, dude.
Kind of like Arsenal. The Chelsea fans will hold that until they die.
Poor babies. Poor babies. Come on, let's
But
get to
yeah,
the big game. Let's get to the big game, man.
well, I do feel bad for Napoli because they are knocked out, but Antonio Conte has never been good at tournaments. If you look at his track record, he always gets knocked out fairly early, but he kills it in the domestic form. So now that he's only has the domestic tournaments and league to worry about, we'll see how Napoli does, see if they can turn it around. The one that was disappointing for me, which I'm sure you're talking about bringing up, is the Real Madrid versus Benfica. The horror show that is Madrid right now.
The boogeyman that is Mourinho.
He was all smiles when he tore them apart. When I say this game wasn't close, it looked like Real Madrid was playing in first gear the entire time and never, ever
Never had a sniff in
out.
this game. 2
They
goals
got
were
whooped.
generous to them. Generous, man.
So for those that didn't watch this game, it ended up being 4-2. And Benfica was near them and Marseille were neck and neck. They're actually tied on points when it comes to the qualifications. And Marseille was on top because of goal differential. And in the very last play of the game, Benfica sent up their goalie when it was 3-2. They sent up their goalie, who basically did like a diving header off a free kick and scored, put it past Courtois. And they won 4-2. They knocked Marseille out of the Champions League, and now they squeak by. And guess what? We're into the knockout stages, and we're having a rematch of Real Madrid versus Benfica.
Benfica. So, oh my gosh, man. Does it get any more poetic? It's almost Shakespearean in that way, isn't it? Especially, again, Benfica's manager, the great Jose Mourinho, former Real Madrid manager, fired from Real Madrid. I mean, every time, dude, I told you this during the week, every time he plays any team that sacked him, it's like he gets his guys ready specifically for this game. He's like, no, guys. We play Real Madrid in Champions League. I don't care what happens in Portugal. We're beating Real Madrid in the Champions League.
He comes with a vengeance.
It's ludicrous, dude. He's a psycho, but that's why he's the great one, man. It's crazy. And I couldn't be happier for Marseille, honestly, with all the people that they have in their squad and the personalities that they have. De Zerbi left. This was it for him. He resigned after saying he was going to be through thick and thin, so couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of lads, I think, honestly. And to bounce to a next topic, dude, Madrid. What happened is I thought sacking Xavi was supposed to make everyone play amazing again, dude. Vinny is still garbage. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they really hit and miss. And I think when the players, particularly Vinny, was having a headbutt with Xavi, you have to be careful what you're asking for. Xavi's gone. There's no more excuse. The pressure is all on you now. And if you can't deliver in these moments, especially if you are claiming that you want this big contract and you're claiming that you want the
should be a
Ballon d'Or,
Ballon d'Or winner. I mean,
he's not shown it this season. Mbappe is hands down Madrid's best player this season. And for Vinny, it's not a good place to be in. Playing second fiddle. Technically, Mbappe's best position is where Vinny plays. So if they bring in a all-star number 9 or somebody like a Holland, if I were Madrid, maybe just shift Mbappe off to the left and bye-bye Vinny.
Yeah, it's worth it to get rid of the headache. And to be fair to Vinny, I think he has done a lot in Spain. Spain has kind of a pretty bad reputation. I think Italy also has a similar reputation in terms of how they treat black players. So he has gone through a lot. He doesn't do himself any favors, though. He claims victim almost week in, week out when fans are giving him stick. And you watch the highlights, brother, you're begging for it to come. And, when people say you're a wanker, you suck, you're shit, then you start crying over it. Like, it's just so unfair. These fans are vicious. Dude, it's give and take here, man. You can't just keep riling people up. Again, the racist abuse he's gotten before, it's terrible. That shouldn't happen. That's not happening every week. It's just normal fans saying like, hey, you suck. I'm a Sevilla fan. Woo, you suck, Vinny, blah, blah, blah. And he throws a hissy fit, dude. It's not just him. You look at Valverde too. These guys are they're children. They're prima donnas. Bellingham, prima donna. Rudiger, I wouldn't call him a prima donna. He's just a nut job, man. It's so weird. It's so funny that Xavi was the worst thing to ever happen to these guys, right? Xavi's left. They still suck. They performed really well with Ancelotti. Who were they competing against in La Liga? That was a very dark time for Barcelona. They didn't have Yamal yet. It was just Rafinha and Lewandowski. This fall from grace is going to happen. I told you this Galacticos experiment that's worked for however many years, it's done now. It can't work in modern football. These managers that are coming through aren't going to allow someone to just be a real free spirit like this. Certainly not an entire squad. Look what Pep did to Grealish. The only person he really let be his full self on the pitch was Ronaldinho.
Oh, that was short-lived. He got rid of Ronaldinho real quick.
Exactly. These managers don't want it anymore. Football is going away from that, whether you like it or not. That's just what's happening to the game. Everyone has to be in this system. And Madrid keeps recruiting people into an old way of football. It won't work anymore. It's done.
Well, I love the diversity of it. You have your managers like Pep, who are tacticians, and it takes a certain type of player to play in the system. And Mavericks don't fit well with that system. Mavericks generally work really well with great man managers like Carlo Ancelotti. And Dino, the same thing. I think those players are the more entertaining ones. Those are the ones that long-term get you off your seat. So I think it's great when you have somebody like the Carlo Ancelotti team versus a Pep team because it's two different styles clashing. If they were all one or the other, either all great man managers or all tacticians, I don't think it would be as entertaining. So do I see it going away completely? No, because you do have a few left. Carlo's still in the game. You do have
You always have a David Moyes and a Sean Dyche in a team, dude.
no, not the pragmatism ones. No. But like Zidane, right? He's another one. He's a great man manager, but the numbers are dwindling. I don't think there's as many great man managers as there used to be. And that's a worrying sign.
It's a sad thing. We all get into football because there's one person who he moves you. He gets you out of your seat, or woman, not discriminating, but there's someone brings you out of your seat. Me, it was Torres. Torres brought me out of my seat. Every time I saw him get the ball, I'm excited. He's going to try to dribble around you, or he's going to do one quick chop, try to bend around the keeper. It's exciting, man. It's going away. Yamal, I ride him hard, but he's one of these guys where you can't stop him from being who he is. I think where it's Musiala, guys like this, you can't stop them. You can't force them to a system. They're not a system player. They are the system. You give them the ball and they will figure it out. And it's going away, dude. It's really going away. It's weird to me. That's what football's always been about, right? Maradona, Pele, Zizou. These are all guys who are, always going to be remembered. And they're not guys who are great system players. They are the system. They are the best in the world. You give them the ball and they do it.
I do think certain clubs like Madrid won't let that ever die down. I do think there are players too, like Ryan Cherky. He's another one that Pep recruited that doesn't allow for that kind of maverick, but he's there regardless. So I do think the players will always continuously be there. Not as much as they used to be, and the managers I don't think will be as much. But there are certain clubs that will not become super pragmatic or super tactician. And I think Madrid is one of them. So I think there's hope, but there's not much.
No.
All right, so that wraps up the Champions League, guys. So let's move on to EPL. Let's talk about it. What was the most exciting fixture for you over the weekend?
As a neutral, I'd probably say that Chelsea-West Ham game. We were just on Chelsea like, oh my God, you guys can't figure it out. They do have entertaining football matches, man. They are a fun side to watch, 100%. What more can I really say? I didn't really watch this game. I just have the stats. I really like Somerville. I think West Ham have gotten a steal with Somerville, and I wish he would have come to Liverpool a few years ago when that was a whisper. He bagged in this game. He's not really working out to all the hype that he had when he was at Leeds those few years ago, but man, what a game. Chelsea, again, you should be beating this team. Instead, Adama Traore is just ragdolling Cucurella off the side of the pitch, and João Pedro thinks he's a big tough man until a real big tough man starts walking up to him.
Did you see his face?
Dude, he saw God. He saw the wrath of God, and he got very, very scared. They're a hilarious side, man. Like you said, they're so inconsistent. You just don't know what, even in games, like, okay, you guys are terrible this game. You have no chance. Second half said, hold on, hold my beer. We actually are going to win this game really quick. It's weird, man. They're an odd squad. Club World Cup champions, though.
I do see some of the frustration from Adama Traore, right? They were up 2-0. Chelsea comes back, and of all players, Cucurella with his little diving header,
Had
right?
to
His
be
hair
him.
flopping around everywhere. And as a Traore was going down the line, trying to get a cross in, Cucurella falls and then swats the ball with his hands. I don't know if you saw that, but oh my gosh. So yeah, he's frustrated, of course, right? Cucurella gets up, he tosses him back to the ground. Should he have done that? Obviously not. But I did not expect the little twig that is João Pedro to come and just shove Traore.
Who does he think he is?
Man, the guy's got balls.
He's Brazilian, man. God bless him.
He's
God
lucky that
bless.
everybody came, to his rescue, because I think for a second he was scared shitless.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna have to actually fight this guy. I have to fight him now.
And I'm actually quite surprised that Traore kind of kept his composure. He didn't swing at him, didn't do anything. Obviously, he went up to him and was going to push him. But if that's all you did, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take that any day.
He said, Jesus, thank God. Oh, my Lord.
As they were all in a bustle, you even saw Ariola, West Ham's keeper, come all the way to help bust up the fight, because it was just all of them. Every single player was out there scrabbling. And Todibo, I don't know if you saw, but he had his hands around João Pedro's neck, face, and he got a straight red, and he's serving a 3-match ban, which you can't. I don't think I can say anything against that. That's what he gets. Can't do that.
Prime Barclays, dude. This is a poor league. This is not, everyone's not playing at their best right now, but I think the past couple of years, the Premier League that we saw in the 2000s, it's coming back, man. People are scrappy again. It's not all this brotherly love. City Pool was fun while it lasted. When Wenger was at Arsenal, everyone gave them shtick, but it was all in good fun, right? Now these teams actually don't like each other. I think there's real rivalry again. The Merseyside derby, for example, dude. It's always been contested, very, very hot. I think once Pickford broke Van Dijk's leg in 2021, added a whole nother element to it again. Look at the North London derby, dude. Spurs, I don't even think they want to win that game, man. They just want to hurt Arsenal. These teams just want to hurt each other now. The Manchester derby, it's a slugfest now. You don't know who's going to win that game, and these teams hate each other, and I love it. I love it as a fan, dude. It's just competitive. It's getting nasty. Of course, you don't want people choking each other out or slamming each other to the ground, but you want to see fire. You want to see fire. You want people to really care. It's a job for them, right? They're getting paid to do this professionally, but it's still a game. You want to compete. You want to see that, especially as a fan of any club. You don't want just someone coming out there doing a half-ass job or just maybe trying their best and not really giving a shit, right? I want to see that fire. And seeing Traore do that, oh my God, dude. It moved me. That moved me. That's the one time West Ham's moved me so far this season.
Yeah, it was good to see some of that. I don't know if bad blood's the right word, but
yeah,
some sort of passion, fire, like you said. Now we're not going to be promoting people doing career-ending injuries or anything like that, but to have that clean shoulder to shoulder, it's you or me, dude, and it's never going to be. You're never going to win this battle. Bam, hit him.
Yeah,
that is something that I think the game has missed and gone soft. Part of it is these guys get paid a lot and you can't afford for them to get injured. Some of it is refereeing. Everything seems to be a foul now, or I don't think it is.
Yeah.
So I do think that was interesting to see, and I'm curious to see how the game's going to go going forward. And it's also interesting to see how Chelsea was down 2-0, and they had that comeback. Not all teams have that grit to grind it out and do a comeback, but like we were talking earlier, this is 5 wins in a row for Rosinha. Is he proving people wrong? Is he going to be the next big manager?
He appointed him in January, right? You can't make these calls yet. You have to give him the summer, right? How many times has a manager done this before? Look at Ole at United. Number one example. He takes over mid-year. Oh my God. Ole's at the wheel. Everything's going to be great now. Ole's at the wheel became a joke song. United didn't sing that anymore. Everyone playing United started singing that. You gotta wait and see. Yeah, he's doing really well. He's certainly outperforming my expectations. Is this new manager bounce, or is he actually legit? I look United with Carrick as well. From what I see, commentators don't think Carrick is really legit, but they somehow think Rossoneri is. So you can't make this call yet. You have to wait. You got to give him a summer, give him a preseason, see what their tactics truly are like, because it's not really his full team yet. He's still trying to work with what they know and how to make it work for him.
Well, now that we're on the topic of United, let's talk about that game versus Fulham over the weekend. United was up 2-0. Fulham caught up somehow, tied it 2-2. And again, in the dying minutes of the game, United squeeze it out. Cunha, once again the savior, does this nice little cool dance that he did. United squeak by 3-2. That's 3 wins in a row. Now, I'm not going to get carried away. I think a lot of people do, right? Think, okay, give him the job. Not yet. Like I said, I don't want to hit the panic button yet and just give him the job, give him all these years and whatnot. But it is refreshing to see finally 3 in a row, or we can climb up on the table, or we're beating teams that we're supposed to be. Because the last two were obviously against City and Arsenal. We didn't have a lot of the ball. We weren't expected to win those games. Not a lot of pressure. Going against Fulham, they were right behind us in the table. And being at Old Trafford, we were expected to be the dominant force. So it was good to see that we finally won a game that we were supposed to.
Should be winning. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
because we have not been doing that on any consistent basis over the last 18 months.
Are you giving Carrick the job at this point?
Too early. Too early. I will not get carried away. However, when he took over, I think he had 17 games left. If he wins 13 of those, you have to at least consider him.
I mean, if it's not him, who else are you going to put there? Glasner seemed to be the obvious choice last season, but look how Palace has just totally fallen apart this year. Does any club really give him a chance now?
Somebody will. He's still a great manager. He did well at Frankfurt. He just done well at Crystal Palace. I think he's losing stock when it comes to the United job. But to answer your question, if you're asking me if I had to name 4 people off the top of my head, I'd be looking at Luis Enrique, Carlo Ancelotti, Thomas Tuchel, and Unai Emery. Those are the top 4 that I would see coming in. Obviously, all of them more experienced than Carrick. However, if none of them are available, you assess the situation in the summer after the World Cup, and if Carrick's your best bet and he's performed well, then I'd be open to it. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm not
in Manchester.
I'm not gonna hang my hat on United keeping this form going. I'd love it. Don't get me wrong, but
I want this guy to cut his hair, man. I want him to cut his hair. Get 5 in a row. Let him get a haircut, please.
yeah, please.
It does not
If
look
anything else, just let the other 2 teams just say, "Let us win for this purpose." Everybody wants to
good.
see
Please.
it.
I mean, he's not doing a single thing to that hair, man. He's letting it happen. Good for him, man.
Good for him for sticking with it.
Yeah, dude.
And if he has any, significant other, I mean, they put up with that
God bless him.
and their job. All right, now let's move on to the blue half of Manchester. Spurs versus City. I would say City was probably in second, maybe third gear, and never really moved out of that. The first half was pretty dominant. Spurs played a really low block and just let City cut through them. For having a low block, you should not be cut through like that, and they were finding holes all over the place. And one of the things I thought was odd while watching the game, and this is just something I think happens more and more often in today's game, is that when the ball's in the air and it's a 50-50 ball, a lot of the times the players don't even look at the ball anymore. They're just looking at the player that they're going to be going up against and kind of just jumping into them.
Yeah, just trying to knock him off.
First of all, that should be a foul. You're not even looking at the guy. The refs ain't calling it. So in my mind, that's super annoying, and I can't get
You want English referees to make the right call? I mean, dude.
True.
Come on.
True. But Spurs turnaround. I don't know what Thomas Frank told him at halftime, but he beat him into submission, and it was a completely different team. They came out guns blazing, attacking. Maybe that was their plan all along. Just suck it up for the first half and then explode the second. But Dominic Solanke, it was good for him to come back. Do you think that this is the difference? Having Solanke back, having an actual number 9 at Spurs? Is this going to be Thomas Frank's saving grace?
I think a number 9 certainly will help. Frank is a very solid manager. I think he fully deserved the Spurs job. We'll see now. Solanke is injury prone, right? He's working with broken toys, so to speak. I mean, this team just isn't healthy. They just can't stay healthy. When they are healthy, though, when they do seem to get their strongest 11 out there, they're really good. They're exciting to watch. And this was a game of 2 halves for both sides. City looked like the City that everyone recognized, Turkey. A true number 10. That guy's dynamite with the ball at his feet. And then it's like we went to the second half. Pep said, guys, Spurs, lads, Spurs, don't worry about it. And Spurs came out swinging. Oh, my God, that scorpion kick. Oh, my Lord, dude. He screamed when he pulled that off. That's electric stuff. Say what you want about the first goal. You can say it shouldn't have counted, should have been a foul, but
you stand on that.
It's the game, right? Is it a foul? Yeah. I say it probably should be. He didn't really try to kick the ball. He just anticipated where Gahey's foot was going to be and said, do my job for me, Mark. Thank you. That's a foul. But these refs, dude, we created a rule for simulation, right? No more diving. Stop diving. But we don't give players free kicks or penalties when they're obviously being fouled because they're not going down. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. And these refs are they're scared to make a call. They just don't want to make the call because, oh, I don't want my friend X, Y, and Z to say whatever about me. And like, it's your job, guys. If it's a foul, make it a foul. If PGMOL is going to say this is what constitutes a foul, call it. If this is a handball, it's a handball. Just do it. Make the tough calls. I have nothing to say about English referees. There's a reason why they don't do World Cup finals. There's a reason why they don't do, major international tournaments like this. They're the worst. They're simply just bad. Sorry, I feel for you, City. Imagine how I felt when Rodri got away with that handball. It sucks, doesn't it?
I'm a big supporter of VAR. I think it can do great things. I think it's being implemented horribly,
Yeah.
particularly in England. And I think every league will complain that it's been implemented pretty bad. But to have multiple sets of eyes say, hey, you might want to take a look at this, tells you there might be something wrong. Something might be disallowable. And to look at it seems like for 6 minutes or like 60 views, I mean, come on, shouldn't take that long first and foremost. But to see when Solanke kicks through the back of Gahey's leg, I don't know how many times you have to see that for it to be like, okay, well, that's a foul.
It's a clear foul. It's a foul.
And I would imagine that most of these refs have played at some youth level and just never made it pro. And they should know those are the basics. These are basic refereeing decisions. And VAR is there and it gave you an outlet. It gave you I made a mistake. Here's my opportunity to correct it.
It's not my fault. It's VAR.
You still get the wrong call. There's no excuse at that point. These refs need to be either held accountable, whether it's financially or banned or suspended for a few games. And I'm not saying this is the worst incident ever. There's been worse. However, these are just basic, simple things that I could understand why Pep's frustrated. And I am not a City fan, but I don't like seeing goals like that.
Credit to Solanke, right? That's great football IQ. He knew where Gay's foot was going to be and said, all I have to do is just kick the shit out of this guy. And the ball's going to go in the back of the net. But it's not football. He didn't try to make it play on the ball. And if it's a foul, call it a foul. If these are the rules for it to be a foul, that's what it is. You can't look for, well, Mark Gahey, he didn't do this. He didn't fall this way. He didn't react a certain kind of way. So I didn't call it a foul because it didn't look like a foul. Okay. I've seen Kirkes get kicked in the freaking sternum by Saka. And guess who it was a foul on? Kirkes. Like, what's clear and obvious? What's a clear and obvious foul? We've had VAR for an awful long time, dude. An awful, awful long time. And it seems to have just gotten worse. Like, I don't get it. How can you do your job for so many years and still be shite? It's amazing to me.
I do want to ask you a couple questions. I'm not sure if you saw the bust up between Pep and Cherki.
Yeah.
Pretty early on in the game. I think it was around the 23rd minute or so.
Yeah, Cherki was like, he was hurt.
Did they go into that? Because I still don't know what exactly they were talking about, and I wish they would allude to it.
From what I saw, it looked like Cherki was hurt, right? And he was just down on the ground forever. And I was like, okay, he's got to come off. And Pep obviously said, okay, Cherki's hurt. Let's get Rangers warmed up. And as soon as the medical staff come over and tell Cherki, hey, you're going to get taken off, he's like, oh, no. I'm fine. I can play. No, Pep, don't take me off. Let me play. And Pep said, fine, you can play. And then what was it, the 60th, 70th minute? Cherki goes down again. All right, Rangers, you can finally come on now. Thank you. That's someone who they should have put on right away. You go up 2 goals. You want some defensive cover, put on Rangers. But no, and then Cherki is just mad. They're taken off and Pep's pissed off at you. Like, again, to my point, man, simulation. He is not that hurt. You can tell he's not hurt because he got up and played for another 50 minutes just fine. He scored. He took great chances at goal. What's going on here, VAR? Of course, you can't get every single foul call right. But stuff like this, dude, this is simulation. This is what people are talking about. This is why people don't like VAR because, they're here to do the right thing and they just don't. They just don't. They don't want to give the refs the outlet because they want to protect their buddies, dude. That's what it looks like sometimes, man. They just don't want their friends to get yelled at. And it's weird. Just do your jobs.
Well, as a manager, I would be pissed as well. Just have your player consistently go down and prolong the injury. You're really breaking up the momentum that your team built. That's my guess. When I watched the game, I was like, oh, Cherki is killing the momentum and Pep's upset because he needs to get that third goal to finish him. And he was just killing the play, letting him reset, getting everybody a breather, and that's not Pep style. So I do think that's probably what it was, but I'm curious if they'll come up with anything. But another question for you. With this result being a draw, is the title race over?
It looks like it, dude. The only people that can stop Arsenal are Arsenal. They can only get in their own way. And if they win the league, it's off to you guys. You did it. You got over the hump finally. I don't think it was a particularly very competitive league they competed in. They played some of the most horrifying football of all time. I asked you who's the biggest terrorist, Simeone or Arteta, and I think that's a very serious conversation people need to have because you're winning. You're winning, sure. But are you having fun? Are you guys really having fun? Because it looks like to me no one's having fun at the Emirates, man. They're just hey.
Well, nobody will remember how they lifted the trophy. They're just going to remember if they lifted the trophy. So that's what they got their eyes on. And 4-0 against Leeds, again, not a very strong opponent, but professional performance, clean sheet, what they're known for. I think they did their job this week. And again, they rested their players for this game just to
Scored again. He finally scored again.
Yeah. They rested their players just to make sure that they got over the hurdle on this one and keep the momentum going. So professional result, kind of boring, but it is what it is. Well, the final EPL game that I wanted to go over with you was your boys. Talk to me. Liverpool, Newcastle. Not only in the Champions League, walloped somebody, but in the league, you walloped somebody. That's 2 wallopings back to back. You got to be feeling good, right?
Finally starting to recognize my club again. Oh my God, dude. I mean, first, I want to say like 36 minutes of the first half, just watching like great and standard Liverpool this season. We look awesome midweek, cup games, Europe. Wow, we're best team in the world. You can't beat us. Going to England, just all right. Yes. I forgot. We suck, actually. We're actually terrible. Of course, Anthony Gordon's going to score. He just loves to do that against Liverpool, say, hey, you guys should have kept me, blah, 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 blah. And then Anfield came alive. Gordon just had to talk to the cop. He just had to look at the cop. He just had to. What happens? Hugo backs almost right away. And then what happens again? Holy toe poke, man. Hugo brace. It's 2-1 going into the half. And then it was game over, man. It was fully game over. Wirtz, I don't have to say anything about this kid anymore, dude.
Yeah. Wirtz, silky smooth with that assist. Did you see that?
Is so good, man. Goal and assist. The goal was already better than the assist, man. Just slashing it across the goal, across his body, on the weak foot. Okay.
I did see Ekitike miss like a wide open shot. Did you see that one? He was one-on-one with the keeper,
I saw the
it
clip,
wasn't even close.
I'm like, all right, Ibu. Nice, man. And then, God bless Ibu, dude. Scoring, he's gone through a lot. His dad recently passed away. This is really his first game back. And he was great, man. That's the Ibu I remember from 22, 23, and last season. Defensive colossus, man. I mean, Van Dijk didn't have to worry about a single thing. He made Van Dijk look just as good. And Van Dijk didn't do a single thing this game. It was all Ibu. All Ibu. This is the team that I know we can be. The team that we should have been. And I don't know if maybe the team is starting to click. Slot's message has changed, but it's working. For me, I know the question may be coming, does this change how I feel about Slot being in or out? I'm still Slot out, dude. I still am. 2 wins in a row. Cool. This is our first win in an awful long time. Awful long time after losing to really bad teams. So if we make a run to the semis, maybe into the final, we make it to Budapest, we secure top 4, that secures his job. I think that might redeem himself. And as a fan, say, okay, give you one more try. Stop talking about low blocks. Stop talking about PSG, and we can go again. But right now, he's still out. I want Xabi. Bring in Gerrard for the interim and bring me Xabi.
I do think your mind is a little distracted because Xavi is available. So if he wasn't there and you kept seeing these performances, I think you would be all in on Slot.
Like my heart wants to say, yeah, dude, like he won the league last year. It's 2 really good games in a row. We're still great in Europe. PSV seems like a fluke game. No, man, like there's not really anyone who I think can really challenge us in Europe, bar like Arsenal, but we've beaten Arsenal. Arsenal hasn't had a sniff at us this season, really.
So did we.
I don't know, dude. Maybe I am distracted. I wanted Xabi originally, and he said, no, I'm going to wait for Madrid, which is fine. It's all well and good. I don't know. Slot has just said some things this season. He's throwing Jurgen's squad under the bus, saying, well, it wasn't too long ago we were competing in Europa League and we weren't very good. Like, okay, brother, you're talking about Jurgen Klopp here. You're not Klopp. You're simply not him. So don't bring up this side. It's a second language, blah, 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 blah. You don't bring up Klopp to try to make yourself look better. Because the only reason you have this foundation and why you are where you're at is because of Jurgen. Because Jurgen spent almost 10 years of his life to bring this club back to where we should be. Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely. Jurgen definitely built the foundation of that team.
yes, Jurgen built the soul of this team.
Yeah, definitely. And some of the players are getting older and they're phasing out now, and now it's going to become Slot's team. But I still stand by it. If Xabi takes another job in the next month, you're going to stick with Slot. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, we're going to have to. And right now on the Man City shortlist, they have Xabi as the number one ideal placement. And Xabi is, of course, interested. However, his preference is still Liverpool.
Of course.
There's a chance. I mean, I'm not begging for the team to be terrible, but if we were still pretty poor, give me Europe and just give me Xabi, man. Give me Xabi and have his coaching staff be Gerrard and Thiago. Perfect.
You might need more experienced coaches than that, though. It's good for camaraderie, maybe ambassadors, but he probably need a little bit more.
Hey, man, Gerrard won a league title.
In Scotland.
Hey, it was with Rangers. It wasn't with Celtic, though.
Yeah.
That's something, man.
The second best team ever in Scotland.
The second,
It's not like they're not taking hearts up there.
When he went to Villa and took over for that, it was the first season, majority of that season. That was a pretty fun Villa side to watch. If you gave them half a chance, they were going to take it and they could realistically beat you. Of course, that next season, wow, he got fired for a reason, dude. And then he went to Saudi. He left. That's not real football. Sorry, Saudi fans. It's not. Benzema left to go to his team's biggest rival. No one cares, man. That's nothing like Sol Campbell leaving Tottenham to go to Arsenal. Like, this, nothing that happens there is ground shaking. I've read that, Ronaldo keeps talking about maybe this is my last season. We don't care, man. This is Messi's last World Cup. That's what we all care about right now. I hate to say it, but
it's both of their last World Cup.
It's Messi's last World Cup, dude. I'm happy Ronaldo's going to be there. Good for him, man. But it's like if they just rolled out Pele on the 2002 Brazil squad. It's like, all right, man. Good to see you, dude.
I wanted to ask you a couple more things about the Liverpool game. Ibu scoring, crying. You could see what it meant to him. This is why it's called the beautiful game. There are moments that only sport can bring out, right? You could see how much it meant to him. Do you think this is going to be the turnaround for him to be back, or do you think this is like a one-off thing?
I really hope this is a turnaround for him to be back. This is like bad as to speculate, but I'm guessing that his dad has probably been sick for a little bit. Probably this whole season he's dealt with Thiago passing. His first game back, and maybe this is him having a clear head again. Whatever's been going on, it's over now. He's made his peace. I don't think he's staying. We just signed that young defender from Rennes. I really liked Ibu. I really enjoyed having him with the squad. I'm very, very happy for him. I mean, like you said, dude, beautiful game only produces moments like this. I mean, something that sticks out in my mind vividly is when I can't remember the game, but when Kaká scored the winner, ripping off his shirt and saying, "I belong to Jesus." Like, you don't get that in any other sport, man. I mean, I've watched basketball, I've watched baseball, I've watched a lot of these games, dude. There's nothing like football. It's only football that just truly has these pure, just like, oh, man, this what life is all about, man. Overcoming all of these things and just fully persevering. And it's great for Ibu. He's probably out this window, but I'm happy for him, man. Really good for him.
Yeah, and touching on Jeremy Jacquet, your new central defender coming in, 20 years old. He's coming in the summer. I could have sworn that you guys would have done one or two something over the line for this window because you're so thin.
No, we were talking about loading Calvin Ramsey, our one healthy right back who we just don't play. We competed freaking 5 years ago for this guy and we don't play him.
I can't wrap my head around this. Make it make sense to me. Why wouldn't you bring him in now?
It's my justification for you, man. I don't know, dude. We needed a defender. So we were thinking about getting the Sutherland guy who could play right back and at center back. Deal falls through because Sutherland can't find a replacement in time. Man, where have I heard that before? Well, you would have thought we learned our lesson when Gahey threw shit in our face with Palace. You would have thought. We signed this next great defender. I have don't know a thing about this guy, to be honest with you. But I saw last year he was the second. He had the second highest aerial duel winning percentage, and I think U22 defenders. Number one was Giovanni Leone. So we built the Twin Towers, dude. We're gonna have a very, very good team. Hopefully, if Leone comes back, totally fine. He looked great in Carabao. Again, I've never seen this. I don't even know his name yet, man. I don't know a thing about this cat. But if he's anything from the hype that I've been seeing, Chelsea fans are very upset that we beaten to him. I read that Bayern or tried to approach him. He said that no, not happening. So this is a very, very hot prospect. We'll have to see. We really have to see. We needed a real center half. We needed a center half because if Ibu's out, welcome back Endo, welcome back Gravs. I saw this story in 2021, which only Liverpool can repeat the same story of just having a million different center back pairings that just seem to never ever work. And hopefully this third turnaround we do secure top four, but I can't explain FSG's thoughts. Like I said, we try to loan away our only healthy right back who doesn't play. Why?
Yeah, I think, you guys definitely stole this under Chelsea's nose, man. It's a coup. It's a coup for you guys.
First player to reject Chelsea for us.
Yes. Yeah, true. About him, yes, he's going to be France's next big star, right? I mean, supposedly. That's what we're hearing from all the talk from Ligue 1 and Rennes. I still don't understand why he's not coming now. For all the work that FSG and particularly Michael Edwards, like, they've done some good signings over the years. It doesn't seem like the same Michael Edwards. So maybe that's a conversation when we talk about transfers, but
I don't know. I think it's still the same Edwards. He's still making the moves he wants to make. We're splashing cash, which is not the same MO we've always had, but we've made moves like this before. We've had signings where, okay, you join next season. Like, this isn't unusual. I think it's just very unusual that we've signed all these center halves, these defenders who aren't going to play this year. They're going to play next season. We don't need them.
Need somebody now.
Yeah, exactly. We need
players.
Need
them now.
Now. We need Champions League.
And no offense, man. No offense. You got Leone who's 18 and Xhaka who's 20. You're talking maybe 3 to 5 years down the road where they're going to have that Saliba-Gabriel partnership to where they're hitting their prime.
We need like an Uncampo or somebody, dude.
You need somebody to partner with Van Dijk now, especially if Ibu's on the way out. You need an Ibu replacement. Jeremy Xhaka supposedly has similar play style as Ibu, and he's very tall, which you guys don't have a lot of tall people on your team right now. Then you need some giants. But again, 20 years old, he's not going to be starting.
It's all future planning, which, like, I get you want to do, but it's future planning while we have a present unsure. Dom's contract still needs to be sorted out after there's been word, oh, no, it's done and dusted. He's going to guarantee captain next when Van Dijk leaves. Now contract talks have stopped. Maka's contract talks have stopped. Ibu, nothing's happening, dude. Everyone thinks he's gone. I would love Ibu to stay. I think Ibu would be the perfect center half to take over, being the main guy back there from Van Dijk, teaching a young kid. He's ultra professional. He's a great guy in the locker room, but we're making decisions based on things that aren't guaranteed. We think Ibu will come back. We thought he was for sure going to sign and be back. Not happening. Salah, we thought was going to be amazing again this season. There's no way, unless someone's basically Pele or Messi, they're not going to have one of those seasons back to back. That was not going to happen. I think Salah's looking better since he's come back from AFCON. But to my point, we're doing business thinking that these guys are for sure going to either re-sign or be their all-time best again. I don't get it anymore. That's just what FSG's done. To an extent, they always look for a home run kind of player. That's what they did with the great Lazar Markovic. Never, ever worked out. Then we went out and get Mane, Firmino, and Salah. Well, we'll see, man. It worked out. We have a Champions League. We have 2 league titles, FA Cup, 2 Carabao. I can't doubt FSG until they give me a full reason to demand them to be out. I have to wait and see. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. I can't justify it, but they make more money than me, so they have to know what they're doing.
Fair enough. And there's still a chance Ibu, like you said, he might sign. Still every chance that he might, especially with Madrid not being interested anymore.
He's going to go to Paris. He's going to PSG, dude.
Maybe. We'll see. The last thing I want to ask you about on this particular game was some iffy challenges. I saw them and I was like, I wonder if you felt the same. It wasn't quite at the level as Adama Traore when he threw Cucurella. But really early on in the game, Gordon, who I don't think is a dirty player at all, kind of took out Alisson.
Dude, no, he's a dirty player when they play Liverpool, man. He does that all the time. The flip game of this, who got sent off?
Yeah.
Gordon. He
But if you look at all of his other games, I don't see him as like a Sergio Ramos, a Pepe,
no,
right? Like he's
no.
not. He doesn't have that aura about him where he's like, I'm gonna take you out.
But I think he's a scouser, right? He was from Liverpool's academy, got cut from the academy. Then he went to Everton. He made a breakthrough at Everton. I mean, he has a bone to pick with the side. He obviously has a bone to pick this side. At Newcastle, they're a physical team. Would I call them dirty? You could. We have Joe Litton, Bruno
Guimaraes.
Guimaraes, like Dunk. Dunk can get nasty, dude.
That was the second tackle I was going to ask you about. That was on Gakpo, unnecessary. And I did.
The referee talked to Gakpo. What?
Where's the card for?
He got
the
kicked.
The ball was out of bounds.
He was out of bounds. They were both out of bounds. And he talks to Gakpo. What are we talking again, bro? What did I say about English referees? There's a reason why they don't get to officiate any big games because of things like this. Like, in what universe are you talking to Gakpo for getting basically donkey kicked? And Dunk gets to walk away. And dude, I love Kirkus, bro. He was about to rip his head off. A dude who's a full foot taller than him. He was ready to go after it. Fetty had to tell him, just chill, baby. It's okay. I don't like Newcastle. I hate playing Newcastle. And it's not because they're super physical. They're dirtier than Arsenal, man. Like, they don't even do tactical fouls. They just want to hurt you. They really just want to hurt you.
I wonder if some of that's coming from just their frustration of how their season's going, because they're just so up and down. One year they're in the top 4, the next year they're 10th, and they're just frustrated with that losing Isak to you guys. And I get it, but it's uncalled for, and I agree. How did he not get a card? Both the ball and both the players were out of bounds. He didn't get a talking to, nothing?
Nothing.
It's wild, beyond me. So, yeah, English referees, I'm sure we could have our own segment on that.
Shout out Ikitike, telling him, hey, what's the score? Scoreboard.
Yeah.
Oh.
Now, that wraps up all of the fixtures. There's something that I wanted to talk about very shortly before we close out, and something that you and I talked offline. Pochettino's comments. There goes your head. Pochettino's comments about Tim Weah. So for those that did not see, Tim Weah basically talked about World Cup ticket prices and how the prices are outrageously expensive and it needs to be more affordable for the fan. He didn't say any fan base. He wasn't talking about any game in particular, nothing like that. He just said in general. And Pochettino came out and basically said, shut up, talk on the pitch. Now, I don't know about you, but as a player, I would have been so offended. I would have told him, fuck off. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And this has nothing to do with the men's national team, because obviously they don't set the prices. But he's not wrong. The ticket prices are outrageous. So unless Pochettino is a direct employee of FIFA and needs to have their back, I don't understand why Pochettino said what he said. I don't understand how it's motivating for Weah. I don't understand how it's motivating for the rest of the team. And honestly, I was a huge Pochettino fan. I love what he did at all the clubs he's been at, whether it's Spurs, PSG. I think he was great. When we got him, I was like, wow, we are finally making strides in the right decision.
Serious.
But between the way that we've played and this comment, honestly, I would be surprised if he's still the manager after the World Cup. I think he's right when we get knocked out, he's gone. And I don't want to say we need to employ an American because I don't think we have the best coaches, but he just seems to have his head so far up his ass, man.
He doesn't get it, dude. Shut up and dribble is not a cool thing in this country. I mean, try that with Braun, did not work. However you feel about whatever a player's politics may be, it's our right as Americans. I mean, we're allowed to speak our mind as long as it doesn't hurt anyone or impede on anyone else's rights. Tim Weah had every single right to say this is bad. Is it not true? Did he say anything wrong? Did he lie? No. The home opener's $1,400 to sit in the nosebleeds. To see Iran play a mystery opponent is $600 in the nosebleeds. No disrespect to Iran. They're not a marquee game. Why am I going to pay $600 to sit in the nosebleeds for your game? And for Podge to just be like, hey, Weah, just shut up, dude. You're a football player. That's all you should do. What? And you want us as fans to buy into you and your system? We can barely buy into our own players. And you say something that's almost so un-American to just be like, be quiet, listen to the corporation. They know what's good for us. Listen to them. What, dude? What are you talking about? I agree with you, man. And it's going to take one poor game in the friendly buildup, maybe not in the friendly buildup, but if we get grouped, we lose immediately in the eliminations, he's done. He has to be done, man. He's gotten the best out of nobody since he's been here. Absolutely nobody. And he's just made the national team, again, not fun to watch. Where we were 10 years ago. All this work that we've done. No one cares about the national team anymore because we suck. We're full of just players who don't want to reach their potential, who want to cry about everything, but don't want to work for anything.
Now, I understand if Whale was talking politically, but his
For sure.
statement had nothing to do about American politics or European politics or any other world politics. It was simply stating that he wanted to make it affordable so the common people can watch because it's only for the rich and the elite now. My jaw is still on the floor, dude.
I just don't, I can't, yeah, dude, I just don't understand saying just shut up and play soccer. That's your job. Like, Poch, what? So you're telling me you're going to go down to Argentina, ask, your friends and family you grew up with, hey guys, you want to buy tickets for the World Cup? And they're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, I can afford that. What world do you live on, dude?
I'm quickly losing faith and stock in Pochettino. I think a statement like that is like, oh, of course a rich guy would say that. You're a
Yes.
millionaire. You're famous. Do you remember what it was like when you were poor or when maybe you were never poor? I don't know. But the common person, the common man can't afford this.
No, I can't crap this money out. I have real things to worry about. If I pay this, what thousands of dollars for a ticket, and then I get in an accident or God forbid something happens to me, I need to pay for something. I can't because all my money went to a freaking World Cup ticket that I now probably can't go to. Of course, I'm not saying it needs to be $40, $60 to sit pitch side. I get pricing. I'm not an idiot. But $1,400, $1,200 for the world's game? Anyone can play this game and get into it. You can come from anywhere. And it's not like America's hurting for this money, dude. One of the richest countries in the world. So it's just like, okay, we're greedy. That's simply what this is. I mean, FIFA's greedy. FIFA's greedy, dude. In this World Cup, it seems to be getting worse and worse as it gets closer and closer, man. We have Germany's FA talking about seriously boycotting this World Cup. We said it last week. Sepp Blatter, all-time bad guy, one of the worst dudes ever, saying we're so fucked up as a country. No one should go to the World Cup. For Poch to just be like, shut up, Wea. Don't give your opinion. Given everything that's going on surrounding this World Cup, it's asinine, man. He doesn't live in a real world. He doesn't get America. He simply doesn't. He's here because he's getting paid. And the American Soccer Association said, okay, you're a manager that we know a name of. We know your name. Please come here.
Getting paid handsomely, might I add.
He'll get a bonus if we make it out of the group stage. I
Sure.
guarantee that's in the contract, bro. Guarantee it.
Well, that's all we have time for today, guys. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time on the next episode of Tiki Taka.
Later.